right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back to check out a new episode. This is the unfiltered, unapologetically Black, uncensored podcast. Speak to the mic. I am your host, Marlon Joseph, and this month we're basically focusing in on Physical Health Month for this particular show. And this month I'm talking to personal trainers, I'm talking to nutritionists, I'm talking to chiropractors, and in particular, more specifically, this episode, I'm talking to a certified yoga instructor. This young lady is actually stationed out in Memphis, Tennessee. She's a certified yoga instructor. Name is Darlin Wakefield, aka Yogi Raven, is what she goes by on her social media pages. Raven, so thank you so much for being on this show, and definitely taking the time to just rap with me about just what got you into being a yoga instructor as well. And I hope you're being safe and keeping your mask on and being sanitized. Because we're almost at the tail end of this pandemic. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get back to a new normalcy where we can actually interact physically with with people rather than just doing virtual stuff. So. I appreciate you for taking the time to be on the show. No
problem.
All right. I just want to get started. Just starting off, I just want to know from you what got you into the world of yoga. What began that journey of becoming a yogi is what they call them.
So I had taken yoga classes a couple of times in college, and I really enjoyed it, but I never got consistent.
Yeah.
But then in September of 2016, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
Oh, wow.
And for those of you that don't know, it is inflammation in the digestive tract. So it can be anywhere from your throat to your anus. Mine is in my colon. And I started losing weight because I wasn't eating. And I've always been pretty active.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I'm losing my muscle mass. I'm just like skin and bone. And I needed an easier way to work out. And I was like, what is low impact that I can do that I like? And I looked at yoga and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I like it. And I started doing it more and more. And then I got on Instagram and started doing yoga challenges, and they kept me motivated and consistent. And then teaching came about because all my friends kept seeing me doing it and posting about it and like, could you help me? And I was like, I don't want to help people without knowing what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We have too many of those out there, especially in social media. So yeah, I completely understand that.
Yes. So I got certified in summer of 2018.
Okay.
And I've been teaching since 2018. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you know what? Funny thing about yoga that I've learned in the past few years is that it requires a lot of flexibility. It requires a lot of somewhat endurance when it comes to just different levels of becoming a yogi, if you will. And just from your perspective, how therapeutic is yoga, especially as it pertains to your physical health, right? How much does that help and coexist with your physical health?
It helps a lot. Especially because most of us during the day, if people that have desk jobs, we're sitting all day.
Yep.
People that work at a factory, you're doing the same movements all day, every day. In the body, we have multiple joints and muscles and things that need that movement so that when we get old, we can be good. I say this all the time in my classes. It's kind of corny, but I say so we can be good, mobile old people.
Yep. No, I mean, that's facts though. I mean, yeah, because you don't want to be slumped over and
we don't want to be those old people that are hunched over. No, we want to be able to move.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want people to, that's why I want more of us to get into yoga.
Yeah.
People think it's, oh, you got to be super flexible. No, there's different types of yoga.
Yeah.
Different types.
Okay, so explain to me what those levels and those types like, right? So, okay, beginners, intermediate, that advanced yogi. So explain and break that down in essence, what those three levels are like.
Okay. So there are different types of yoga. There's one type is restorative, where you use props, you use pillows, cushions, blankets, blocks. So for those people that are not really flexible,
Yeah.
you can always use a prop.
Yeah.
Always. So like on days that I'm having a Crohn's flare and I really can't do anything, I will still a cushion under my back and just lay there.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Then you have power yoga for those people that really want to lose weight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can move fast in yoga. You're stretching and strengthening at the exact same time.
Okay.
And if you just want to flow, you have vinyasa. It really just depends on what you need that day.
Okay. Yeah.
Flexibility and strength. Like people go in thinking it's just stretching. No. You gotta have strength.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way with just like beginner's luck in terms of like starting off with yoga. And I understood too that it takes a lot of, it helps your posture too, right? So, on occasions with me being tall, I'm 6'4", right? So I'm sometimes I'm slumped over. My wife gives on me a lot about, making sure my posture is straight up when I'm walking. And sometimes I do it, just subconsciously. I don't even know I'm doing that versus, just intending on sitting a certain way. And to your point about, desk job. So I work in the field of IT and I'm always at a desk. I'm always sitting down and I'll be slouched. And and it's always, a different way of just sitting improperly versus having my posture straight up, making sure my back and my shoulders are aligned. And, oftentimes in the past, I have been, I've actually gone to a chiropractor to realign my back and them showing me how one side of me is, a little higher than the other. And so I know a lot of those things are often like tampered with when it comes to yoga, but it helps you in the long run when it comes to being able to be flexible on top of your posture too. And so how much for you, just speaking on posture, how much does that help? How much does yoga help with your posture on an everyday basis?
A ton. I have a desk job too as my full time.
Yeah.
And I spend all day like this. I spend all day hunched over.
Yep.
But I make sure I work on back bends in class, even if it's tiny back bends, because people just don't stretch. We don't go the other way. We're always going forward. We don't go the other way.
Yep.
And it says you naturally learn. Yoga teaches you body awareness a lot.
Yeah.
You're really like, wait, I was hunched over. Like I catch myself driving and my shoulders are here. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why was I more tense? For no reason.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even realize it, but I make in class, like I'll have them feeling that tense so they can know what it feels like and then feeling the relaxation. Bring them through both of those so they can learn to, and outside of class, they will be like, girl, I found myself, I was just so tense for no reason. And I just really remember what you said. Just take time to breathe and relax.
Yeah, we have to be more consistent with being conscious enough to know exactly how we're aligning ourselves, how we're sitting, how we're standing, how we're leaning over, how we're bending over without bending our knees. A lot of times we would just do that and not even think twice about it. We'll bend over to grab something and not bend our knees, and that puts more strain on our back. So this is a question I got from some of my followers too, in regards to just those people who have chronic pains and bone issues and things like that with their different parts of their body that's aching, but they want to engage in becoming yogis. What recommendations would you say, as a certified yoga instructor, what would you recommend for them to do in terms of getting into that beginner stage where the yoga could ultimately help strengthen their bones that they've been having issues with all along? What would you say to them?
I would say start out with YouTube. Beginners classes free, because and you can do it in the comfort of your own home. A lot of people are scared to do new things in front of other people. That's why, like, I have people that I do private sessions for because they're scared. They're like, I'm not flexible enough to come to class. I'm like, that's why private sessions are good. But
Absolutely.
if you want to minimize cost, you can start on YouTube. There are plenty of beginner videos. I do not have a YouTube because it is time consuming, and uploading to YouTube is a lot of work.
Trust me. I mean, again, my podcast is on Spotify and it's on YouTube too. So I know firsthand what that is like. And so,
YouTube takes so long to upload.
yeah,
But I would start with beginners yoga classes on YouTube
yeah,
because you can do them at home and you can take breaks whenever you need to.
yep,
You don't want to go so hard at something at first and it discourage you.
absolutely.
That's what we don't want to do.
Yeah, it's a
So
gradual
start,
process. Yeah,
yeah, it's a process. And when you do get the nerve up to go to a class, let them know you're a beginner. Don't keep in. You have to let them know your injuries or anything like that, so we can tailor the class and not do things that would potentially injure you even more.
yeah, yeah.
Like, most people don't even know that your spine moves in 6 different ways. We pretty much move our spines every day in just the 2 directions.
Yep,
Forward, and maybe we'll bend back, or maybe we'll twist.
yep,
But there's 3 other directions your spine moves, and that's what keeps you young and healthy.
yep, absolutely.
It's the control center of everything.
Yep. Your vertebrae has to be aligned, man, because again, that's the one pain you don't want to have, especially getting older, because
Because it affects everything else.
it does. Without your back, you can't do anything. I mean, you can't even blink without it hurting your back. So I have done this on a consistent basis as far as like basically stretching. I make sure that I made it a conscious decision to wake up every single day stretching to make sure that you're okay. All right, before I get my day started, let me just wake these bones up. Let's wake these muscles and bones up and see. All right, make sure I'm cracking my back and stretching my arms and legs and all that good stuff before I sit down at a permanent seat for 6 to 8 hours and just hunching over or slouching and things like that. So trying to make sure that I keep that a habit, because 21 days, it takes 21 days to form a habit, and habits become lifestyles. And so if you're not early on consciously thinking about the things that you're doing as it pertains to taking care of your body, it's going to become that second and third language to you to slouch over. You want to be thinking about you being slouched. So it's going to already be there versus you making it a conscious decision to say, hey, let me sit up properly and make sure that my body, my shoulders, my back, everything is aligned correctly. And I'm consistently doing that because I don't want to have issues growing up, getting older and, having to walk with a cane and sitting forward.
Once you turn 30, they'll start changing.
Man, listen, when you hit 30, this is what I don't like about my body specifically. And I'm pretty sure everybody else feels this way, especially when you're in your 30s. So when we were in our 20s, whenever we had an injury, it just snapped right back real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, we felt invincible. But as you get older, that body tends to start to slow down with healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now you're impatient with your healing. And I get really upset if I get hurt exercising or playing basketball or whatever. I just be like, man, come on, man. What once took a week to heal is taking 2 and 3 weeks and possibly a month to heal. Yep. And I cannot stand that for the life of me. And I'm being
right now. I have a hamstring strain that I have not rested so that I can heal it.
Yeah.
And I know what I need to be doing. So today I've decided I have to rest because I'm so used to being on the move all the time. And when you're on the move, it's hard to sit down. Yeah. And when you have goals you are trying to reach, like I'm trying to get to my splits, and I'm just like, I don't have time for this. But I know I'm just slowing down my healing time.
Yep. And to the point that you made earlier about how we tend to go just 100 miles running, we tend to keep our foot on the gas, so to speak, when it comes to like, even when starting off firsthand, we want to just go full throttle versus gradually working our way up to that. Everything, especially if it pertains to physical health, it's a process. You can't, Rome wasn't built in 1 day or 2 days. You have to make this a lifestyle. Starting off, all right, listen, you're going to know all the different things that you can and can't do, and it's okay. But as you keep progressing in that area, now you're going to start to do more than what you couldn't do when you started off. And that has to be, the consistency in that has to stay the same. And you have to be able to challenge yourself. All right, now I did this. I can do this at first. Now I can move on to something else that I couldn't do at one point in time, but I'm closer to doing. Like for me, I know I can't like just stand straight up and just bend over and touch my toes. I can do it like just like dipping down, but I can't just stay in that motion for a long
Yeah.
period of time. Versus,
See, a lot of people think you have to have your legs straight to do that. You do not.
okay, I didn't know that either. Yeah.
Bend those knees.
Okay.
A lot of people try to go head first into things, and there's a process. You can modify. There's nothing wrong with modifying. There's plenty of stuff.
Yeah.
Plenty of yoga poses I cannot do.
Yeah.
Plenty. Because I come from a background of never being an athlete.
Yeah.
Never being a gymnast, never being a dancer. I was always in the book. Yeah. I never was athletic. So this was all new to me.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people relate to me, because they're like, okay, she's not a contortionist. So,
yeah.
Listener, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people see those super flexible people and get discouraged.
They do.
They're like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, guess what? I can't either.
And even to your point about, people starting off in like, home sessions, doing things by themselves. I know a lot of times you find people who tend to like to be in sessions with other people because you get to see how well people journey, in or started off, right? So everyone ain't starting off at the same pace or at the same point in time. And when it comes to that,
most classes are mixed level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're going to an advanced workshop,
that's a different story.
Most other classes you be in, there's gonna be mixed up. There's gonna be people that have done it before, and there's people that have never done it. Yep. And for us to teach, we always teach down to the person that has never been there, because the person that has already kind of knows what to do.
Yep, absolutely. And even as a certified teacher, you understand the importance of meeting people where they at first off and helping them get to where they want to ultimately be, right? So even with those sessions, most of the time those sessions are no judgment zone. So no one
out of all the working out you can do, yoga is the most, because people come in because we prefer you to be. It's easier to do certain things barefoot. People come in class, no, I have pedicure. I can't. My toe polish is chip. I'm like, listen, watch how everybody's gonna be focused on trying to do these moves, then worried about the toes.
Ain't nobody think about your damn toes. Listen, we trying to make sure I don't pull a muscle while I'm doing this shit. I'm not sitting up here looking at nobody else. I'm trying to make sure I'm straight and doing what's being instructed for me to do correctly.
They be trying not to fall. I was like, look, they're gonna be trying too hard not to fall, then to look at your toes. Trust me.
I'm not gonna impress no damn body up in here. No, that ain't me, man. And people
that's those regular personal training sessions, you gym workouts. That's where y'all be all pretty and stuff. Look, in yoga, come as you are.
Yep.
Judgment free zone, nice. Everybody's friendly. You're good.
Yep.
Especially me, because I don't talk like. This is how I talk in yoga class.
Okay.
I don't talk like, well, I don't have that. It's just not me.
Yeah. But that tone though is very inviting and receptive to people saying, okay, listen, I know where you all are at. I was once there, right? So I don't want you to get down on yourself and discouraged and start this and then don't finish it. I want you to be consistent. I want to help you get to where you want to be, to where you are on every aspect and every level of your physical body are in physical shape and consistently maintaining that physical shape. So that's something that even in those sessions, right? Just as it relates to like those workout interval workout sessions that people go to, you find accountability partners, you find friends in those sessions too. You just never know where someone's journey is in comparison to yours. But oftentimes we get too fixated on comparing ourselves to where we're at versus where someone else is already at in terms of their advancement.
So true.
Come on now, listen. I started here, you're already there. So I'm trying to get to where you are, but I know it ain't gonna take no skip and a hop to get there. And so those we have to consistently think about when it comes to being where we are versus where we want to go. Yep.
Everything is a journey. And when I first started, I was ready to get all those hard poses.
Yeah.
And there was this one guy, he's in Florida. He was like, look, enjoy the journey, because once you can do all that,
yeah,
you're done. enjoy the journey of getting there and watch how much you learn on the way there. And
Yep.
I was like, you know what, you're right. So now my videos, if I unlock a new pose, I call it unlocking. When you do something you never done before,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I be celebrating in my videos and all that type of stuff because I gotta celebrate those small victories along the way too.
Absolutely.
To get to where you going.
And those small victories help other people in their journey of becoming yogis too, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's why I'm encouraging you specifically to get on this YouTube stuff, because you're a certified yoga instructor. These testimonies and these stories that you have, these successful things that you've accomplished, these things need to be highlighted and celebrated to help someone else get to where you are, even if they're not even aspiring to be yoga instructors per se, but they just want to make sure that their physical health in all aspects is taken care of on a consistent basis. So seeing other people in their beginning journey to where they currently are, that motivates and inspires other people to, all right, you know what? Let me get up off my ass and get this work done, because this is my physical health. If you don't take care of your body won't take care of you. And that's something that we have to subconsciously think about on an everyday basis. So yeah, listen, because you're certified, you know these things, that you just taught me something I didn't know even about the different directions our spine move. I didn't even know that. So those type of things that we need to be more educated on when it comes to just introducing more of us into the world of just yoga. Because I'm seeing more of us Black people being, in the yoga field, which is great. But I would, like to see more of us do that and not let it be to where it's a trend or a movement versus it being an actual lifestyle that's incorporated in our everyday life as it pertains to, maintaining our physical health.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. So,
All right.
yeah, I definitely encourage you to, I know it's time consuming when it comes to YouTube. Trust me, I know that firsthand, but
It is.
yeah.
I had to do it I took another training
Yeah.
and we had to upload homework to YouTube and it would just take so long. I'm like, what is this? This is so cool.
Yeah,
But
but the
you're
fact that
right.
you
I needed to do it.
you took those steps early on to want to become certified, that's a clear indication that you wanted to help somebody else, get to where they ultimately want to be when it comes to being a yogi. And so, yeah, as far as your classes go, how often do you have your classes? One, and two, it's a two-part question. The second part is, do you offer any like virtual classes for those people who, aren't able to like physically be present in your sessions?
I teach on Saturdays and Sundays
Okay.
at noon at Beast Mode Fitness. Because during the week, because when you start teaching a lot, sometimes you can lose your own practice.
Okay, that's fair.
Because like when I first started teaching, I was teaching so much that I wasn't making any progress in my own practice. I didn't have time to sit down. Plus, I've had a full-time job the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And then dealing with Crohn's disease, sometimes I have flares and not feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, I just decided to slow down a little bit and only teach group classes twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it has really helped me still have time for my practice.
Yeah.
And make time to do other things.
Yeah.
And focus on my health a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I do want to start virtual classes at least twice a week. I'm starting to think Tuesday and Thursday.
okay.
I'm trying to decide what days and times are best.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and like you said, as you go on, you're going to be able to, be more flexible when it comes to your time and days and things like that too. But, to the point about, taking care of yourself, the number one law of nature is self-preservation, right? So we have to be able to take care of ourselves before we can, help take care of anybody else. And that's fair. I do think that, with you being a testimony, a testament to anyone that has Crohn's disease, who's facing those same challenges that you face on an everyday basis, and they want to get themselves more active, whether it be yoga, whether it be personal training or interval training, things like that. That's something that you can definitely be a true inspiration to those people in regards to that. And so just letting them know, hey, okay, listen, you don't have to jump from 0 to 100 the first day, right?
Mhm.
Gradually work yourself up to that point where you're now able to take on more than what you started off taking on. But making sure that you maintain the consistency of it, because once you stop doing something, like it's easy to, even for an example, right? So it's easy to lose weight than it is to keep it off, right? Once you lose the weight, that now that part's over. But the hard part is maintaining that set weight that's been lost to not be gained times 10, right? You lose 30, you end up gaining 50. Now,
Mhm.
see, now you just completely undid everything you just did. So you have to maintain consistency. Consistency is key in everything that you do in life. And so, especially as it pertains to our physical health, as Black people, we don't live long enough anyway, because we tend to, fill our bodies up with some of the stuff that was good, but it wasn't good for us. You know what I mean? I made that statement on my last episode. I was talking to a personal trainer and a frat brother of mine about that. It's like we talked all this good stuff about how auntie and them and mama and them and grandma and them used to cook all that good food, but it wasn't good for us. So you're talking about completely flushing your body out and undoing all that bad eating to thinking you're gonna be able to do this in 1 week or in one session or 1 month. Like it just ain't gonna work like that, man. So you have to understand that there is levels to this. You got to
Mhm.
be able to get to a place where you're making it a priority to take care of your body in all aspects. And so from
Yeah.
from a yoga, from a yogi's perspective, being able to be flexible and being able to stretch and always making sure you keep in your mind that every morning I need to stretch to make sure that my muscles are going to operate the way they need to operate. And from here
Right.
on
I
out,
need to
take care
move.
of your body. Yeah, being mobile.
Some kind of movement. We need movement every day.
Yep.
So we don't get stiff in parts we don't even know exist. You know what I mean?
See, you're working out muscles and bones that you don't necessarily use on an everyday basis. You need to know how to use these muscles before, you're not able to use them at all. And so, what's the phrase you use? You said, "Be mobile, old people."
We're trying to be mobile old people.
Okay,
I,
that's fair though. Yep,
because you see so many old people and it's hard for them to just do the basics of walking.
it is. Yep,
That's something we should all be able to do.
yep,
And you
absolutely.
can learn anything at any age. Like I follow a lady on Instagram that started her handstand journey at 50.
Yeah.
At 50.
Wow.
And now she's teaching us how to do handstands. Like,
The balance and the discipline it takes to be able to do that. Like I want to get there. I want to get there. And I'm in my 30s, so I definitely want to get to a place. But I understand my lane. I know where I need to start off, and
yes,
I'm not going to try to just jump from A to Z in no one session. I'm a gradually work my way up to that, because I've been an athlete. I've been very much so actively involved in sports, majority of my life, if not all my life, preferably basketball. So I understand that I have to stretch first even before I play, because the minute you don't stretch, I'm pulling a hamstring, tearing an ACL or
yes.
something like that. And I've been lucky enough, thankful to God, that I haven't had any severe injuries because of that. And so I want to maintain
Warming
that
up,
that consistency.
warming up and cooling down are very important in any type of working out.
Absolutely.
People always want to skip to the workout. You want to be your best,
Yep.
what it takes. You gotta warm up, do your workout, cool down.
Yep.
Those are the keys. The keys. In yoga,
Yep.
we have a warm-up portion, we have the peak portion, and we have a cool down portion. It's all it's all good for you.
Yeah.
But you want to do it right way.
Yep.
You don't want to just go to 100.
Without taking breaks too. Like now you're putting yourself in more risk to hurt yourself, right? So take as many breaks as you need when you're starting off. But as you get more in tune with it, you're going to be taking less breaks, because now you at a place where you can push yourself to do a little bit more now, right? So and then I'm
Right. And you don't have to. A lot of people that get started, I have to take a whole hour. No, you can do 10 minutes of yoga in the morning before you get up. 10 minutes. That's all you need. Just move.
Yep.
Just move. That's what I want people to know. Just move.
Yep. And just the whole therapeutic, process of yoga, right? So talk to me a little bit about how just mentally yoga actually helps you when it comes to being flexible and being able to get your day started.
Okay. Mentally, when you are focusing on one, you take the time to focus on yourself. A lot of us, we're doing so much all day and every day that we just don't take the time to really sit with ourselves. It's our bodies and we need to take care of it.
Absolutely.
So it will make you focus on yourself. Even when you're in a class and you are doing those hard poses, you really have to focus like, man, my hamstring can do this. Like, you have to focus.
Yep.
Like, when we're in class balancing, nothing makes you focus more than balancing, because guess what? You walking a tightrope and you start looking back, you will fall. You have to focus.
Yep. Gotta stay
focused. That's the main thing that makes you focus. You can't focus on anything else when you're doing yoga but yoga.
Yep.
You're focusing right there. Your kids screaming in the background, you really focus? You're not focusing on that?
No.
You won't hear anything in the background.
Yep.
Focus. That's the best thing yoga has done for me.
Yeah.
It's made me focus on what is going on right in the moment. It makes you appreciate the present. You can't think about the future. You can't think about the past. It makes you focus on the present.
Yeah.
And that is good, because we're always thinking about, the next bill, the next errand. We're always thinking about what we have to do next.
Always racing. Yep.
Always.
But
Yoga will help bring people on this.
Yeah. And I do appreciate how yoga incorporates, that natural sound, right? So it's the sound of the ocean, or it's the sound of, wind blowing, of trees and things like that. So I appreciate just that inner peace when it comes to just natural sounding music, and just being able to just be with self at that given point in time. And that's definitely something that keeps people calm in those moments when they're actually doing yoga. And then it definitely helps you for the rest of the day too, because now, okay, you're in a peaceful place. And I don't know all the different terminologies that consists of yoga, but I do understand the concept as it pertains to just being in a peaceful place mentally to help be in a peaceful place physically. And so from that perspective, I do appreciate what yoga, consists of, and all those other areas that obviously coexist with each other. And I appreciate you for shedding light on that. Before we go, I want to, ask you, with you being on social media and obviously people reaching out to you, asking you different questions and stuff like that, and just, basically, encouraging you and congratulating you on your journey and the different things you've been successful in as it pertains to doing yoga. How can people reach you on social media if they do have any questions or things like that?
On Instagram, yogi.y period and RABEN. And on Facebook, I have a page. It's called Yogi Raven 901 for me. You guys can ask me any questions you need to anytime. I'm always open to answering questions.
Okay.
I'm very down to earth, so you can ask me whatever you want, how to get started, private session rates, any of that stuff. I'm here for it.
Okay, and I'll make sure I include all your information on social media that people can access you and get in touch with you regarding any questions as it pertains to being a beginner, intermediate, or advanced yogi. Because you being a certified yoga instructor, you can definitely encourage and help them on their path of becoming the yogi that they want to ultimately become, and making sure that they're maintaining their physical health in all aspects. So I do appreciate you for taking the time to speak with me about that. And definitely for all my listeners out here and followers, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this episode and all my other previous episodes as it pertains to specifically this month of April, talking about physical health. So I will be talking to nutritionists. I'm thankful to have Yogi Raven on the show to talk about yoga and all aspects of yoga and what you all can learn from being a yogi. Um, Definitely will be talking to more personal trainers as well. So Raven, make sure you get people to like, share, subscribe to this episode as well and to the show following the episode and the show in general, because I have a lot of content as it pertains to what we like to talk about in the show. So this show focuses in on the different things that we need to be focused more on in the Black community, creating content and information for the Black community to apply to their everyday life, and being able to acknowledge those Black men and women who are doing the everyday damn thing in their respective professions as it pertains to helping the community and just helping, move the culture forward on an everyday basis. So I appreciate what you're doing. And definitely hope that we get more of our Black people involved into yoga, man, because this is very therapeutic and it's helpful as it pertains to our everyday life and our physical health realm. So we have to definitely make sure that we are very much so conscientious about our physical health moving forward and living beyond 65, which is the average of how old our Black people tend to live. And so we want to live.
I'm trying to be
I'm trying to be a mobile old guy. You know what I mean? I want to be able to be mobile for my grandkids too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want to be open. And if the Lord will grant me the grace and mercy to see great grandkids, I want to be a little mobile for them too. So yeah, again, I appreciate your time. Yeah, and I appreciate you for shedding light on this particular topic, because this is something that it was not as consistently talked about, or but it's starting to become a trend now. But I want people to get this trend to transform it into a movement and a lifestyle that they can incorporate in their everyday life.
Yes.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you for being on the show and taking the time. I'm hoping that you and your family are staying safe, staying, wearing your mask, socially distance, all that good stuff, until we get to a place where we can be more out and about with people on an everyday basis, and it ultimately will be safe, or a safer environment for us to do so. So again, thank you for being on the show. We'll definitely be in contact more, because I definitely will have some questions of myself as it pertains to incorporating yoga more into my everyday life from a physical health perspective. So really appreciate you for taking the time to be on the show, and we'll be circling back and talking again.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Take it easy.
You too.
All right. If you like what you've heard from this week's episode and would like to hear more from previous episodes, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel below. You can also find me on social media platforms at Speak to the Mic _podcast show on Instagram and Speak to the Mic podcast show on Facebook. Be sure to also like, share, and subscribe to my Spotify page at Speak to the Mic podcast show. As I put out more thought-provoking content, your opinion and thoughts are needed and appreciated. I thank you all in advance for your support and look forward to hearing from you soon.